Hello and welcome to the morning after show. My name is Joshua Reimer, and I'm joined by none other than Jared Block, who's over on my right. Jared, how are we doing today, man? We already talked a little bit. Well, we talked for an hour now. We just recorded the Do Not Fade This podcast, and it was a good podcast for sure.
Yes, it was. Friday's main slate looks juicy. Have an early only slate to go to today, but let's recap what happened yesterday because it was a great day, a great start to the season for Roto Radar MLB members.
Yep, a fantastic start to the season for MLB members. Ended up getting a win over on FanDuel and DraftKings for the cash game package, and Can of Corn absolutely dominating, just like he always does. So no surprises there whatsoever. It was a great way to start, and I've always said, especially with MLB, you get your win, you feel good about it, but then you move on to the next one because we have a whole new slate. We have a whole bunch of games. I think we have 10 games to analyze today and get down with early only included. And so it's a whole new day, and we're excited to make even more money today.
100%. Let's start off and talk about Tiger Woods, man, because this guy something special. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe he just gets superpowers every single time that he goes to Augusta, but it's crazy to watch.
It's absolutely insane, man. I mean, it's fantastic the fact that you saw him go, what, he went -1 yesterday? That's right. Or shoots
Yep.
under, yeah,
Yep.
shot under par, -1. I think he's like 3 shots back from first place. And we have him and Smith leading the pack at -4. He looked great. And he made a lot of mistakes yesterday. So I was kind of surprised to see him at -1 at the end of the day because I saw a lot of shots that he missed or he didn't like personally. But it was a good day for Tiger for sure.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's teeing off around 1 or 2 Eastern time, so he's going to be basically like the back half superstar of the rest of the weekend. And right now, the leaderboard states that right now Smith and Im are leading the pack at -4. So he has a few strokes to catch up on, but I think he'll be. I mean, he's always got a fighting shot here. Looked really good yesterday, and I think that it's just something to people. I don't think realize that this dude wasn't really. We didn't even know if he was going to walk like 6 or 7 months ago. So the fact that he's out there and doing what he's doing at the highest level is just amazing.
Yeah, it is truly amazing. So we will have to see how he does. Is he projected to make the cut right now? Like I'm not a big golf guy, so I'll be completely honest there. But is he like good to make cut right now? Is he looking solid?
Yeah, I mean he's still like -1 at the Masters is still really solid. So
Yeah,
I'll look at the cut line right now. If the I haven't looked today yet, but I'm sure the chat could probably help me out here. So
for sure. Yeah.
actually, the projected cut line looks to be +2, so he's well ahead of the game right now.
Oh, very nice. So as long as he has a good day today, always a chance once it gets to the weekend, and will be exciting to watch him and the rest of the Masters for sure. But let's talk about the NBA. Let's talk about everything that happened in the NBA last night because it was a roller coaster ride, just like these last few days have been. Um, Man, I don't even know where I want to start on this slate. I guess let's start with your Bucks getting a big win over the Celtics, a game that stayed closer than I expected it to. But this is a huge win for you guys. It kind of locks up the 2 seed. Not necessarily. I mean, you guys still need to play out your games. But do you know who you have left? You have 2 games left remaining on your schedule. So who is it?
Yeah, the two remaining games for the Bucks are the Pistons today and then the Cavs on Sunday. So I think at least one of them is doable, maybe two. And yeah, the Bucks clinched or not clinched. They have the second seed right now. They did clinch their division. I would be interested to see what the Celtics' last 2 games are. They only have one. They play the Grizzlies
Hmm.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
So okay, there's a real chance the Bucks have the second seed.
Yeah, and that's got to be exciting for you. You know, it means a potential matchup. Who knows exactly who quite yet, but one of those play-in teams, and that play-in side. I mean, like the Cavs are a little bit better once they get back Allen and Mobley, and I heard they're supposed to give it a go really soon.
Mhm.
So if they return, that's a little bit difficult, but I still think you guys probably are better than them at the end of the day.
Yeah, I have this growing feeling that just sunk in right now that we still could get the Nets. So
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that at
No,
all.
dude, we love the Nets. Stop. We want to face off against the Nets because we know that they're going to get swept. We know that the Nets are going to get swept without a doubt.
I don't feel as comfortable as you do.
Oh, you're crazy, man. This Nets team is not good. Especially, you're like, look at all the waves yesterday. They waved James Johnson. Um, they're a bad team. I don't know. I don't believe in
Yeah,
the
I know.
Nets.
The amount of stress and torture that series put me through last year was I
Mhm.
don't ever want to go through that again.
That makes sense. That's understandable. I can understand that. Jokic creates his own club, which is kind of interesting, and not the club you're thinking of, a statistical club. He has 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. That's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's I think that all but seals his MVP
Yeah.
eligibility here. I think that there's nothing close anymore. And yeah, I mean, Embiid had a pretty solid game last night, but they ended up losing. So I just think that Joker's just in his own place, and they clinched a playoff spot without having arguably two of their best players all season.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get either one back either, so I don't know how their playoff hopes are looking. But Jokic obviously gives you a chance to win anytime he's on the floor, just because of his level of play. And he looked really solid last night against that Nuggets team. I think he put up like 70 FanDuel points. So like I said, always gives them a chance to win. Like you said, you alluded to it. The Raptors ended up winning against the 76ers. This one was close all the way through. But thanks to a heroic performance from Pascal Siakam, where he got a triple double, had 37 real life points, this Raptors team was able to come out on top. And I feel like it continues to kind of be James Harden's fault a little bit. You know, the fact that you have this guy on your team that is supposed to be able to score a lot. The fact that he only scores 13 and he shot 3 for 12 and 1 for 4 from 3 point range, like James Harden is, I don't know if the experiment's panning out.
Yeah, I mean, tough matchup, right? Like they probably had Fred on him the entire night, but if they didn't, I mean, it's yeah, I'm not. I never liked the acquisition, so I can say like it's wherever he goes, just doesn't seem to work, and there's drama that ensues. And I just think that having a team with two guys that are alphas with big egos just isn't going to work.
Yeah, it probably isn't. So we'll be interesting to see how that 76ers team decides to handle that situation. Kendrick Perkins, I guess, before we came on this show, said on his show, somewhere on ESPN, that Embiid was definitely the MVP. So I'm curious what
Mm.
the odds look like around the industry. But
Well,
I bet the
he's
Jokic is.
usually he's usually got some pretty out there takes. So
Yeah, that is true. He definitely does. So we'll have to see on that. But I feel confident in our Joker take as of right now. All right. Anything else you want to talk about with NBA? If not, we can move on and talk about MLB and how much fun opening day was.
yeah, let's go to MLB.
Yeah,
We got 3 days left of the NBA regular season. Then we can have some fun.
for sure. Let's talk about the MLB and talk about yesterday. Like we said, big wins yesterday. I had a top 10% win in cash over on FanDuel. If you use the DraftKings cheat sheet, you were able to cash over there on DraftKings as well. So it was a good day overall for Cash Game members. GPP members obviously had Can of Corn, and he was a stud, just like he always is. Surprise, surprise, right? Year in and year out, he's the best single game pro in the entire industry. So he absolutely dominated yesterday, and it'll be fun because I know he's providing some extra content today, and it'll be a blast today as well. So make sure to follow him up on all of his content. Obviously, we're gonna have content for the early only slate and for the main slate, so keep an eye out for that as well. Let's talk about everything that happened in the MLB last night. Talk about a bad beat indeed. We were both kind of on this Cardinals team. We were kind of back and forth. You know, at one point we were saying we don't like him, and another point I said I liked him. So back and forth for sure. And we see them absolutely just run all over this poor Pirates team. I mean, it wasn't close
Yeah.
at any point in the game. The crowd was going crazy because of Yadier Molina and his last opening day, and having back Albert Pujols as well, which crazy to see Pujols back in that Cardinals uniform. But the crowd was there. It was a great show out, and the Cardinals absolutely stomped the Pirates yesterday.
Yeah, and it was 4-0 for a really long time, and then they just poured it on at the end. That Pirates bullpen, obviously not ideal, not great.
Yeah,
So we'll be interested to see how we approach that, how we approach this Cardinals offense moving forward. And we mentioned something about potentially keeping a close eye on the rest of the Cardinals rotation because they do have, I think the words that we said were the best defense in the National League by far.
yeah.
I think that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I stand behind that. You got two gold glovers in the middle infield. You have Nolan Arenado, who is one of the best defensive third basemen in the league, possibly the best. I know a lot of people make that Chapman argument, but I think that Nolan's probably the best. Goldschmidt's pretty solid defender at first base. And then you have a great outfield with Harrison Bader out there. Bader's an absolute gold glover, and we saw plenty of examples of that yesterday. He looked great out there in center field. So this Cardinals team has some really, really good defense where, if the ball's hit out there, there's a good chance that a Cardinals defender is going to end up getting an out and an impressive out as we saw that a lot yesterday. And obviously, you have Yachty behind the plate. You can't run on Yachty. We saw that yesterday. I think there was one attempted steal by the Pirates, and Yadier Molina threw him out by a long shot. It wasn't even close. So that Cardinals defense is
Yeah.
really, really good. I honestly like the little bit I watched that Cardinals team yesterday, and I know it was against the Pirates, so we shouldn't hype them up that much. The more I think about it, though, if they could figure out the rotation a little bit more, I think this is a really solid team in the NL.
Yeah, I think they have some work to do on that end. We'll see what Flaherty looks like this year. And is Mikolas still in that rotation? I guess I probably should know that by now. But they need to figure out the rest of it. But I do think this is a real spot for that team to pick up a couple guys, midway through the season and figure it out because they're very solid from top to bottom. Again, I think one of the things that could be a problem is their lack in depth of lefties. That's probably the only thing I could
No.
poke a hole in on the hitting side.
Yeah, definitely. You had a lefty to that team, and that team is dangerous. So, yes, Mikolas is still a starter for that team, and he's second in the rotation as well. So,
All
I
right.
don't know. I mean, yeah, that tells you what you need to know about the Cardinals' rotation. That's why I said I need to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
It should be interesting. All right, let's talk about the defending world champions. Let's talk about the Atlanta Braves as they got to face off against the Cincinnati Reds, a team that seems like they're kind of in a tanking mode, but not as of yesterday because they got a big
Yeah.
win against
Right.
the Braves, 6-3. Tyler Mahle threw a great game. Max Fried had some trouble throughout the first few innings, and we see that the Reds come out on top with a home run from Brandon Drury. Thought you saw the end of Brandon Drury. Not quite. Not quite yet, because he's going to be at the bottom of this Reds lineup and obviously causing some damage.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, of course, like this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was a kind of a slap in the face for the Braves, who just, it's the game that they unveil the championship banner. There's drama of Acuna's talking shit about Freeman, and then Freddie says his piece right before that game goes live. I don't know if you guys watched that, but he doubled down on a lot of stuff. We can talk about that after this, but yeah, not a good look for the Braves on opening day. They get Charlie Morton tonight in a much, much better spot. So I do think that they get the win here, but not the start that Atlanta Braves fans hope for in their comeback here.
Yeah, I didn't see this Freddie Freeman stuff, so I'm really excited to talk about it because I'm about to take a look at it right now. While
Yep.
we're kind of
They
talking through
basically,
go ahead.
yeah, they gave him it was I was watching MLB TV, and they basically gave him like a 10-minute interview segment live from the Dodgers dugout after he had batting practice, and he was basically just talking about the fact like he loves Acuna. He said his son and his family love Acuna, and basically just saying like the way that the Braves do things, maybe he just didn't like it. And Freddie, being the older veteran on the squad, used what was given, the knowledge that was given to him on becoming a professional, and then passed it down to the younger guys on the team. So things like um, not having messy like black under eye, wearing a suit or wearing a collared shirt on the bus, not wearing athletic shoes on the bus and wearing dress shoes, like stuff like that, like enforcing some sort of code. Kind of like, just in reference, like the best thing that I can point to would be like the clean shaven Yankee look. It's like enforcing those kinds of things in the dugout and in the clubhouse, and apparently Acuna wasn't about that life.
Yeah, so here's his direct quote from MLB Network. When you put on a Braves uniform in that organization, there's organizational rules. You don't cover the A with sunglasses. He means the
Yeah.
Atlanta logo on the cap. You don't wear
Yep.
earrings. You have your hair a certain length. You wear a uniform out during BP. You don't have eye black coming down across your whole face. Those are just organizational things. So I guess I was one of the older guys that did have to enforce those kinds of things in the clubhouse. But when you put on a Braves uniform, those are kind of what happens. I didn't view it as any friction or clashes or anything like that. I love Ronald. I still love Ronald. Gonna miss Ronald. My family's gonna miss Ronald. So, yeah, Life of Goosey says professionalism in a way, I guess. I think there's also the need in the MLB specifically for, there was that mantra last year, let the kids have fun. Let these guys do their bat flips. Let's re-energize the sport a little bit. And I feel like a lot of things he said comes down to that almost. The cool look is to have your sunglasses up and you have the eye black all the way down your face. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's probably water under the bridge, and probably was made out to be a lot more than it was by Acuna. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all people are going to talk about and care about are the wins and losses, and the Braves lost without Freddie Freeman yesterday. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Because honestly, I was shocked. That's a game that you need to win,
Oh
coming
yeah.
off of your World Series title.
Yeah, definitely. It should be interesting to see what that team looks like, even through these next few starts against the Reds. Um, let's talk about an early only update. Because we have this early only slate today. It's 5 games. It starts in 2 hours, 2.5 hours actually. Um, this is going to be a really fun one. We're trying out something new for those people who are in here and don't know yet. We're going to be doing Twitter Spaces for a 30 to lock segment for the MLB early only slates. We're going to do that for the whole month of April, see how it goes. If it goes well and you guys really like it, we'll continue to do it. If not, I think we'll just take it behind the paywall, honestly, and do it for season
Yep.
pass members instead. But, we've been seeing a lot of people using that Twitter Spaces tool and using it really well. And we're excited to try it out today.
Yep, absolutely. Can't wait for that Twitter Spaces. We'll give you guys more information, obviously, and a link as well when we go live for that. That'll be in about 2 hours. If you guys haven't seen yet, in the Roto Radar Discord, we do have an events section that we're trying to keep as updated as possible with times and what we're actually doing with those things. So just keep an eye on that moving forward. If you guys like it, we will continue to do that as well. Crispy Bacon says, "What's Twitter Space?" Twitter Space is basically like you guys just go on to Twitter and you'll find it at the top of your screen. It's easier to use on mobile, but you can use it on desktop too. Basically, it's just like going live on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. So that's the easiest way I can describe it. Other than that, we do have a couple of housekeeping things to cover. So Hockey Fan 26, thank you for a subscription for Prime. 17 months. Is that how long we've been on this? I'm pretty sure it has.
I think
It's been pretty
so.
close.
Yeah, it has been.
Naughty Redbox and Joel Van Auken, thank you for the follows as well. Naughty Redbox. I thought it said Naughty Red Sox at first. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been hilarious. Yes, thank you for the follow indeed, and thank you to hockey fans for subbing with Prime. Yeah, I think the best way to describe Twitter Spaces, it's basically like a live podcast hosting type of thing, except on Twitter. So they're fun. And it's just another way for us to get out there and reach out to you guys and do something like that for free outside of doing it on Twitch, which we're still going to do that for the main slate today. I hope you guys know that that doesn't take place of the main slate ready to lock. We're still going to be doing that on Twitch here at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, and we're excited for that. Yesterday went really well, so should go well today too. All right. Anything else for MLB here, or if not, we gotta talk about UFC 273, man, because I feel like you and I obviously have had a busy week and we haven't had much time to talk about anything except for MLB. But UFC 273 is tomorrow, and this is one of the best cards I think I've ever
Yep.
seen in the past few years.
I'm surprised actually that you didn't bring up anything Yankees related, but I think you're saving that for a little bit later.
I have
Uh,
to, man. I can't bring up anything Yankees related when we haven't played a game yet. I got the cap.
that's
That's all
fair.
I need for right now.
All right, last thing here. Gusty wants us to know if Mercedes finds himself on a team soon.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I didn't even know he was off of the White Sox completely. Did he just get released, or is this a thing that's happened for a while?
I don't know if they actually made that public. Maybe it was late last year.
Maybe I don't know. Regardless, I think he does find a team at the end of the day. You'll find some team who needs a catcher, and because of an injury or something, and they'll end up going that way.
Yep, yep. Let's talk about UFC then, because I'll let you have the floor here.
Yeah, man, it's an exciting card. You have two championships that get figured out. You have Volkanovski facing off against Chan Sung Jung for the featherweight title. This is the headliner. Volkanovski's right now a minus 720 favorite, so big favorite here to win. Korean Zombie, obviously a good opponent, but I think that Volk does have this one kind of covered, so it should be interesting to see how that goes. I know a lot of people are cheering on the Korean Zombie, so we'll have to see if that can happen. Aljamain Sterling gets to face off against Peter Yan. This is the interim or this is to unify the belt because technically Aljamain Sterling is the champion here because of that disqualification that Peter Yan had last time out. So this one's gonna be really good, man. There's a lot of rival. There's a lot of bad blood in this one. They both hate each other. So this finding this out will be a lot of fun, and I think Yan is set up well to go up against Sterling. Then you have Burns versus Shemaev. Shemaev thing seems like the next big thing, and this is his first big step up. Like Gilbert Burns is the second best welterweight in the world, so you really come into a conversation after this fight. If Shemaev does end up winning, he deserves that chance to fight against Kamaru, and that's a really interesting fight if he ends up winning against Burns. I mean, that gets a lot closer than I think people give it credit for. So Shemaev and Burns is crazy. And then you have Mackenzie Dern and Tisha Torres. This is a good fight for the strawweight division. Mackenzie Dern, the number 5 fighter. Tisha Torres, the number 7 fighter. And then we got this one lifted up to the main card. I forget which fight got canceled instead of this, but it's going to be Vince Pichel facing off against Mark Madsen. For those who don't know Mark Madsen, he's an Olympic wrestler and has just come into the UFC, so it'll be exciting to see
That's
him
crazy.
fight. And then Vince Pichel, a crazy boxer, man. He has that. I don't know. Have you seen Vince Pichel before? He has this like huge mustache, and it looks like he's like an old
I'm looking at
time.
him right now. He looks
Yeah,
like one of those dudes that goes like this.
That's exactly what I was about to say, bro. Like he looks like one of those guys that go like that, and I, I freaking love Vince Pichel. He's one of my favorite fighters, so I'm excited to see him fight. And then you have a loaded prelims too. You have Ian Gary fighting on this card. A lot of people are hyping him up, saying that he could be the next McGregor, just because of his hype and him coming out of Ireland. So Ian Gary, really solid fight there. You have Mickey Gall. Everyone loves to watch Mickey Gall for some reason. I don't, but it is what it is. You have Alexei Oleinik in his possible retirement fight against Jared Vandera, and it's going to be a really good card all the way around. There's a ton of great fights on this one. It starts at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, and the main card ends up starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So this one's going to be juiced, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It's a late one. What do you think the over under in seconds of a TKO from Rosenstrike Tevera?
Oh, geez. Man, I think it's probably going to be like 2 minutes at most, and I'd probably take
Yeah.
the under on 2 minutes too because they're going to be throwing punches, and Rosenstrike has a little bit of a weak chin, so This is going to be fun, man. It's going to be a great card. We had a week off last week. But I think because we had a week off last week, a lot of people forget we've had the best start to UFC that we've had any given year when it comes to DFS. We're 7-2 over on FanDuel, similar record over on DraftKings, depending on what you play. Our betting record has been impeccable. I'm so excited for the start we've had to UFC, and I'm so excited to continue that start today or tomorrow once we have UFC 273.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that stuck out to me, and I know Kamaev is a huge favorite, like really big. I'm actually kind of surprised it is that big. But who approved the number 11, number two? Is it just like
Uh,
a momentum thing? Like, how do you clear that
yeah.
many fighters?
I think it's a momentum thing. I also think it's probably a thing of, at the end of the day, I bet they asked a lot of people between 11 and 2, like, hey, do you want to fight Kamaev? And I'm sure a lot of
They
them
all
were
said
like,
no.
no, I don't want to fight Kamaev. So I'm
Uh,
sure Gilbert was willing to take up that fight, though. And
oh well, he
so
has to, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, he kind of has to, exactly. Um, this is going to be a big fight for him, especially after his loss last time out. Or no, he won last time out against Stephen Thompson. Especially after that, Burns is on a run to potentially make a return to fight against Usman again, which would be interesting to see him fight against Usman again. So I don't know. This is going to be thrilling. I am so excited for this main card. I'm so excited for these three fights. I know there's big heavy favorites, but I just have a feeling one of these underdogs are going to end up paying out. I feel like that's the sentiment around the UFC this week is that one of these guys is going to get the upset. If I had to lean one way, I think it's Gilbert Burns, but man, it's going to be exciting to watch.
yeah, absolutely. I know that we are, doing these half-hour shows now, and we're about to hit that mark, and we still have to do our underdog segment. But just wanted to bring out some NFL news really quickly. We did find out in the last day, as actually 1 hour ago, this was 100% finalized, but the Texans gave Brandon Cooks a 2-year, $39.6 million extension with $36 million in guarantees. So huge
Wow.
payday for Brandon Cooks. Almost an entirely guaranteed deal, 2 years. I guess, I mean, our reaction yesterday was that this was off air, but we were just talking, sweating the MLB slate out, and we both were like, I guess it is what it is, but the dude just loves playing in Houston.
Yeah, for some reason he just loves Houston. He loves being there, and he's gonna stay there. And if Mills can improve, like he could very easily be a 1,000 yard receiver. I have no doubt in my mind. So
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
as
right.
long as he stays healthy,
Yep, absolutely. And then the other thing came out about 20, 30 minutes ago. Melvin Gordon is in discussions with the Ravens on a potential deal. I will shit my pants in a not good way if Melvin Gordon goes to the Ravens. I will be
same
so
here.
upset.
I
So
will
upset.
be very
Goose, you
mad.
should be upset too, because I don't want a three-headed running back system there. I don't. I don't
Yeah.
want it. I want J.K. Dobbins so bad.
Same. I'm going to be really mad because I just traded for J.K. Dobbins in a dynasty league. So I am going to be a little furious if that happens. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully he moves on somewhere else because why would they want that? They have a decent running back room already. As long as I don't know. Interesting story. Interesting story indeed. All right. Let's continue on here. Let's finish off the show. We have the Dog Days of Spring. This is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, our good friends over there. They do a great job with the prop bets and everything, and with Dog Days of Spring, soon to be Dog Days of Summer, whenever the weather actually warms up. Because here, I think it's like 50 degrees today, so it's pretty chilly
Oh,
over here. Not
that's
as cold
sweet.
as Milwaukee. Hey, I'm in Nashville, man. It's cold. It's cold for Nashville. Actually, it's 45. I just saw the temperature, so still it's a little chilly over here for sure. I'm sure it's chillier in Milwaukee, but Dog Days of Spring. We give you guys a free bet for Underdog Fantasy. And what are we doing? Are we both picking one side? Is that how we did it yesterday?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
It
sweet.
is. It's been raining slash snowing the entire morning,
Ooh,
so that's how my day's going.
ugly.
It's April, and so it's very ugly. By the way, just a side tidbit note, it's apparently John Morant Day,
What do you mean?
stated by himself. He
Oh,
tweeted. said it's John Morant Day this day last year. So
Hmm,
I don't really know what that means, but keep an eye on that.
neither do
Apparently
I.
it's John Morant Day, April 8th.
Good to know.
Um, okay. I had this picked out earlier. I'm actually targeting a main slate guy, and there's not too many main slate options outside of pitchers and Mike Trout. But there's a lot of early only stuff. So I can take a look at some of the early only stuff. I'm sure that's probably where you're going with this.
Hmm.
But I have one pick, and it is a main slate guy.
Go
You
for
know
it.
what? I can double down on this. I'll take both.
Okay, go ahead. You can take both, and then I'll put in another one, and it's a 6x bet. Then, if we do all three.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So, give me. Do you have yours? If not, I have mine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
fave. Okay, go ahead. You give yours.
All right. So I have the over of Aaron Nola's pitch count of
Okay.
83.5 pitches, and I have the under of Jake Odorizzi's pitch count at 75 and a half pitches.
I like that. That's 10 out of 10. Solid placements there. I think you nailed both of those. I have the over in Bryce Harper total bases at 1.5. I
Whoa.
think this smashes, and you're not going to know why until you tune into our 30 to lock segment over on our Twitter spaces. So if you want to know why I'm so on Bryce Harper, then come over there. But we are providing early only content today. Obviously, we have main slate content. Sean's taking care of NBA today. It's going to be a day filled with content for you guys, and we could not be more excited. Jared, let's get out of here. Any final thoughts, man?
I'm just putting together the actual bet slip on Twitter so you guys can have that, and I'll also include the link. Promo code's RotoRadar for Underdog Fantasy.
Awesome. Sweet. Sounds good. I'll let you get that all created. Are you throwing it in the chat or are you throwing it on Twitter?
Throwing it in the chat.
Okay, sweet. So, like I said, plenty of content today. Make sure to come check out the Twitter Spaces. We really want to get a gauge of how many of you are actually interested in something like that. So, if you are interested, please come show up. Sneak in an earbud at work, whatever you can do. And we can, answer questions from the Discord chat. We can just shoot the shit and talk about the slate, whatever you guys want. Because early only is juicy, man. I've already done 2 hours of research. I'm going to do 2 more hours as soon as we get off this show. And yeah, it's a very very nice slate. I think there's some edges that not a lot of the industry is picking up on, and I'm excited to take advantage of them. So if you want those underdog plays, they are now in the chat, and you can look at them there along with the code, the promo code that you can use. All right, Jared. Any final thoughts? If not, let's get out of here.
No, I just think that three piece bet slip on Underdog is actually really spicy.
Yeah, that's really, really spicy. I love it. All right, let's get out of here. As always, my name is Joshua Reimer. Good morning and good skill.